Hello student, today we are going to discuss previous IIT JEE questions on the topic capacitance or capacitors. First question, based on a spherical conductor or spherical capacitor. Spherical conductor or spherical capacitor. So one should know the formula for this. So here spherical capacitor formula, C is equal to capacitance of its 4 pi epsilon naught into R. Okay, just tell me the answer, what you can get. So here, according to this question, radius of the spherical conductor is given 1 meter, right? We know that 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value equals to 9 into 10 to the power of 9. Okay, Newton meter square per coulomb square. So simply if I substitute these values in the equation, then I can get C is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 4 pi epsilon naught value will becomes 1 by 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into 1 meter. So we can write even this C is equals to 1 by 9 into 10 to the power of 9 minus 9 as it comes to numerator. Now C is equals to 1 by 9. Approximately we can write a 0.11, right, into 10 to the power of minus 9. Okay, hope this is clear till this point. RC is equals to 1.1 into 10 to the power of minus 10 farads. Hope this is clear till this point. Anybody, any doubts? Let me know. Now just you can see here the capacitance of a spherical capacitor. This question is based on the formula C is equal to 4 pi epsilon naught into R. Radius is given R is equals to 1 meter, and even we know that 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught equals to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square, right? Next we have substituted, we got final expression A equals to, fine, C equals to 1.1 into 10 to the power of minus 10 farads, which matches with the option A. So answer for this question is A. Hope this is clear. Then we'll move to the next question. Now, this is given in 2002. Second question. If n capacitors are there, here n capacitors in a parallel connected to V source, that the energy stored in its n identical capacitors. So identical capacitors already we discussed in the theory. See, when they are connected in parallel like this, they're connected in parallel, number of capacitors connected in parallel of equivalent C, each capacitance is like this. So n number of capacitors are connected. Then we can write C equivalents equals to C1 plus C2 plus C3 plus so on n times, which I can write in parallel combination n into C. Now what we require? Potential, energy we require, right? So how to calculate energy? So energy U is equals to half CV square. I'm using U is equal to half CV square. This total combination is connected to a battery of potential V. Let us take. Fine. It's nothing but connected to V. This is positive and negative. U is equals to half CV square. So why I'm taking a half CV square? Because we want in terms of equivalent, C equivalent. Now C equivalents, which I can write now. U equals to, right, half into C equivalent is N into C, N into C V square. So this option matches with B. So whatever we get the answer here matches with B option. Hope this is clear. What is the formula we used? Half a CV square. Why we have to use only half CV square? Because C equivalent and in terms of potential V we require. Hope this is clear, all of you. Yes, good. Next, move to the next question. So work done in placing a charge 8, this is nothing but charge given here, charge equals to 8 into 10 to the power of minus 18. Now here we can write charge Q equals to 8 into 10 to the power of minus 18 coulombs is the charge on a condenser of capacity. Condenser or capacitor, both the things same. the capacitance of it is C equals to 100 microfarads. 100 into 10 to the power of micro. Micro means what should we write? Micro 10 to the power of minus 6 farads. Right? That's all. What we require, work done we require. Already we discussed work done in charging a capacitor of capacitance C with a charge Q can be stored in the form of electrostatic potential energy. So hope energy or work done both are same here. We can write the equation for it. So I'll write the equation W or we can write it as U equals to, right, Q square divided by 2C. That's all. Now we can write here Q square. Q is nothing but 8 into 10 to the power of minus 18 whole square divided by 2 into 100 into 10 to the power of minus 6. So most of them posted their answers, might be correct. Next, if you simplify this one, if I simplify, then 64 into 10 to the power of minus 36 divided by 2 into 10 to the power of minus 4, right? Or we can write it as, this is a 32s, 32 into 10 to the power of minus 32 joules. Joules is the answer. So what we got, work done, which is stored in the form of electrostatic energy or work done in charging of the capacitor. W is equals to 32 into 10 to the power of minus 32 joules. Is the correct answer. Hope this is clear to all, right? Work done we got, W is equals to, right, 32 into 10 to the power of minus. So what is the formula that we are using? W equals to U, or energy stored. Hope this is clear to all. So this matches with the option 32 into 10 to the power of D will be the correct answer. Good. Next, moving to the next question. So I hope no doubt still here. Okay, good. Now, going with the 2005 offline question. This is a 2 questions asked. So 2 means that is 2 questions. So here a fully charged capacitor has capacitance C. It is discharged through a small coil. So here a fully charged capacitance C. That means it is completely charged, discharged through a small coil of resistance wire embedded in a thermally insulated block of specific capacity S and mass M. Fine. So mass M. You can write mass M. Fine. If the temperature of the block is raised by delta T, then the potential difference V across the capacitance. So to calculate this one. So even this is, we should know rise in temperature in calorimetry. Okay, specific heat or rise in temperature. So one should recall this one. So heat Q is equals to ms delta T. So where S is nothing but a specific heat, S is equals to Q by M into delta T. Is nothing but specific heat. Fine. So Q is equal to ms delta T, where M is the mass, delta T is the rise in temperature, S is specific heat. So it is the quantity of heat required to rise the temperature of the block. So it's a quantity of heat. Okay, right. Now, if you take here a delta T, capital T is given. Let us write this is capital T. Fine. Now, imagine how this diagram will be. Let us start the diagram here. So if I take, there is a fully charged capacitor is there. There is a capacitor which is fully charged. Fine. So now this is connected to a block. There is a block. Okay. So we can take a block here like this. There is a block. Right. There is a block. So there is a block of mass M and a specific heat S, right? And a block of course. This is a block which is given. So this is a capacitance. Here it is a positive. This is nothing but negative. So here Q, C is equals to Q by V. C is equals to Q by V, or the charge that we can say Q is equals to C into V. So that means here I can write plus the CV. Here it is minus CV in terms of charge, or a plus a Q. Here it is minus Q, completely charged. So on discharging the capacitor, heat supplied to the block. So heat supplied to the block should be equals to the energy stored in that one. That means heat is increasing. So heat or temperature of the block is increasing. Here energy stored in the capacitors will decreases. Conservation, right? Now you can equate both the equations here. So if I take both the equations, first equation number one, heat H is equals to or Q is equals to ms Q equal to ms delta T. This is nothing but heat energy. Next, the energy stored in the capacitor, energy stored U equals to half CV square, CV square potential. So conservation Q is equals to V U. That is ms delta T. Ms delta T equals to half CV square, half CV square, or a cross multiplication 2m into S into delta T equals to CV square, or we can write it as V is equals to under root of 2m S delta T divided by C. Hope this is clear to all, right? Anybody any doubts still here? Let me know. Hope this is clear to all. Here to take in this question, we used Q is equals to CV, conservation. So Q equal to ms delta T, the heat or the specific heat, S is equals to Q by, you can say S equals to Q by m into delta T, where m is mass, delta T is rising temperature. So when the energy decreases, then heat energy here increases while discharging, conservation. Now here Q is equal to ms delta T, we equated both the things, the two formulas we are using. Q is equals to ms delta T, U is equals to half a CV square. Hope this is clear to all, right? So here conservation, so energy is decreasing and Q is increasing. That is heat temperature of the block is increasing, right? Now moves to next question. Here we are getting option V is equal to, final answer for this question is V is equals to under root of 2ms delta T divided by C, which matches with the option D. So this will be ms delta T into C. This is the correct answer, right? Okay. To move to the next question, all of you see here. So if I take two insulating plates are both uniformly charged, both are uniformly charged in such a way that the potential difference between them is V2 minus V1 is equals to 20 volts. So delta V is given. It will let us write a delta V equals to 20 volts given, right? Fine. That means plate 2 is at a higher potential. Plate 2 is higher potential means we can take positive is higher potential, negative is lower potential, like this. Fine. The plate is separated by distance already given. Distance D equals to 0.1 meters. This is D is equal to 0.1 meters and can be treated as infinitely large. An electron is released from rest of a inner surface of plate 1. Electron released from inner plate. What will be the speed when it hits the plate 2? So electron is released. If I take one electron here, so this is nothing but electron is released. So due to electrostatic force, this is nothing but negative charge inside negative charge. That means inner side. We are showing that inner side. As it is negative, here it is positive. So it will be repelled by negative and attracted by positive due to electrostatic force. So it will be repelled by it and moving from first plate to second plate. So what we have to calculate, what is the speed of it? What is speed? Now how to do this problem? See here, work done by the electrostatic force. We can take work done by the electrostatic force, and from work energy theorem, work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Two concepts we can use here. Let us see, work done by electrostatic force equals to here Q E into delta V. Hope this is clear. So W is equals to E into delta V, or we already discussed in our classroom session, V is equals to W by Q, or delta V is equals to, or bringing the charge from infinity to the given points. So if I bring from infinity to point 1, point P, so we'll be writing it as Vp minus V infinity is equals to work done by the external agents to move from infinity to point P divided by a test charge Q naught. The same concepts we are using here. W is equals to E into delta V. Okay, now W equals to right, E charge. See, we can take it as E is the negative. If I take a negative, and here also negative delta V. That is V1 minus V2 we have to take. So V2 minus V1 is 20. So V1 minus V2, because this is work done by the electric force, not a external force. No external force is applied here. Okay, now I can write E, charge of electron. We know that minus 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. This is charge of electron into potential difference, that is nothing but minus 20, because here we have to take V1 minus V2, right? Okay, now which should be equal to change in kinetic energy according to work energy theorem. Now work done equals to change in kinetic energy, change in kinetic energy. So equating both the things, half mv square. We should know the mass of the, here mass is given, how much it is given, mass of electron, mass equals to 9.11 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kgs, 31 kg. Hope this is clear. So W is equals to delta Ke. Now W delta Ke means half a mv square, delta Ke. Initially it is starting from rest. See, insulating plate, the separated treated as infinitely. See, electron released from rest, very important. So half mv square, change in kinetic, minus half mu square. That means initially it is at rest. So I can take u is equal to 0 at this point. So delta Ke, I can write delta Ke equals to only half mv square. You can substitute and you can calculate further calculations. Now if I equate both the things, then work done, minus of minus here 20, so I'll write here. So work done is 16, that is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 into 20 equals to half. Mass is nothing but 9.11 into 10 to the power of minus 31 into V square. So simply you can calculate the value of V and tell me the answer. You substitute V is equals to under root of, we'll be getting 2 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 into 20 divided by 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31. So might be the answer. If you calculate or simplify, nearby answer is 2.65 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second. This will be the answer for that question. Hope this matches with option A, right? You can see. So V is equal to, we got 2.65 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second. 2.65 into 10 to the power of 6 meter per second, which matches with option A, right? So what we used here, work energy theorem, work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Initially the body is at the initially electron is at rest, so U is equal to 0 we took, and according to the definition of potential, so bringing a charge from infinity to the given points. This is the given data, right? Hope this is clear to all. So what is the given data? Delta V is equals to 20, a distance between two plates. So there is it's an extra information which is given distance between. So all the data which is given in the question, it is not useful sometimes. So your mass of hope this is clear to all. If you have any doubts, let me know. Then we'll proceed to the next question. Okay, now we move to JEE Main 2012 7th May online question, right? So according to this question, a series combination N1, the series combination N1 capacitors, each of capacitance C1 is charged by a source of potential 4 volts. Okay, so we have a series combination. Let us start here. If I take a series combination, let us solve this question. Series 1, 2, like this. We have a N1 and a C1 capacitor, each is C1, which is connected to a battery of potential. Let me take, it is nothing but N1. So we don't know that number of capacitors. So there is nothing but V plus and minus. So till here, here it is 4 volts. Next, when another parallel combination N2, here parallel combination N2 capacitance C2 charged by a potential of V, then it has the same total energy. So that means same total, here see, very important point, same total energy stored in as the first combination has. That means in the first case and second case, we have same total energy. So then the value of C1, C2 and C1. So we want a value of C2 in terms of C1, C2 in terms of C1. See, here let me take U1 is the energy. Everybody knows that here U1 can be calculated. Here a C is there, V is there. Then how to calculate energy? Energy in terms of C and V, half a CV square I'll take. Now let me consider here half a CV square is energy stored in the capacitor, or U is equals to, let me take U1 half. Okay, how many number of these are connected in a series to each other. Series combination can be written as now C by effective can be written as C1 by N1. So I'll write this is nothing but effective into V. So C effective can be written as C1 by N1. Okay, if n number of capacitors, already we discussed in the classroom coaching, right? In a V square into V square. V square means how much potential it is connected? 4V square. So keep it this equation number 1. Right? Is it clear till this points? Next, going to here another N2. This is a parallel combination is there, N2, and each capacitance is C2 connected to a potential difference of V. So let us take parallel combination here. So I'm taking parallel combination. Fine, like this. Don't know how many number here. So which is connected to a battery of potential. It is connected to a battery of potential V, which is nothing but plus and minus battery of potential. Fine. Here let me take U2 is the energy stored. Here C2, 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 C2 like this continuously till what N2 number of capacitors are there. So if I want effective means in parallel or effective capacitance. If I want to write, I can write N2 into C2. This is effective capacitor. Let me take U2 is the energy. Now U2 equals to, similar manner, right? Half C effective into V square, or C equivalents, anything. Now U2 equals to half C equivalent or C effective N2 into C2 into V square. So V square is nothing but V only, V square. Let me take this nothing but equation number 2. Now finally what is saying, the same total energy stored as in the first combination. That means U1 is equal to U2. According to the question, we want U1 equals to U2. Given, what is given? Given that U1 equals to U2. U1 equal to U2. Hope this is clear. Now I'll substitute, that is from 1 and 2 equations. From 1 and 2 equations. If I take half C1 by N1, right, into 4 means I can write 16 V square equals to half N2 C2 into V square. So this is get cancelled. So 2 will get cancelled here, right? I can use this one, right? So V square get cancelled. Here 1 by 2 get cancelled, right? Anything you want to cancel here. So now I can write here leftover part 16 C1 divided by N1 equals to N2 into C2. Hope this is clear. So C2 equal to C2 we want, because the value of C2 according to the question, the value of C2 in terms of C1. So I should calculate C2 here. So if I want to calculate C2, then I can write 16 C1 divided by N1 into N2 is the final expression, right? Hope this matches with the option. Which option it is matching? With the D. Hope this is clear. Both the energies are equal. Let us see once the total question. Fine. Here first case C1 and N1. C1 is the capacitance, N1 is number of. Then I am taking the energy stored in equivalent capacitance U, or this nothing but U1, and potential is 4V given. Next to U2, same thing, right? U2. Then equated both the things. When I equate, we're getting here even this formula we are including this nothing but C effective C1 by E1, or that is in a series combination. If I take parallel combination or effective, here N into C. Hope this is clear till this point. Anybody? Any doubts here? So finally, the option is matching with the 16 C1 divided by N1, N2. Hope this is clear to all. If you have any doubt till this point, let me know. No doubts, good. Now we'll move to 2012 online 19th May question. So according to this question, statement 1 and statement 2 of 4 choice given after the statement, choose the one that best describes the two statements. Statement 1, it is not possible to make a sphere of capacity 1 farad using conducting material. So let us see this statement is true or false. Next, statement 2 is, it is possible for the earth as its radius is a 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6 meter. That means it is possible for earth. What is the meaning of it? To make a capacitance of 1 farad, it is possible for earth. That is a statement 2, right? Now let me start this one. First, statement 1. Statement 1, we'll go with statement 1. So according to statement 1, if I take according to statement 1, right, it is not possible, it is true, it is not possible, it is not possible to sphere. Now let me take capacitance of it is 1 farad. So for spherical capacitor, we know that C is equals to 4 pi epsilon naught into R. Now what I'll do, now I'll take capacitance is 1 farad equals to, this can be written as 1 by 9 into 1 by 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into R. So now the radius R equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 meters. Imagine. Fine. All of you, R is equal to 9 into 10 to the power of 9 meters. Not possible. Okay. Not why it is not possible. Can anybody tell? Because even radius of the earth itself, radius of earth, if I take radius of earth, 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6. 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6. So we cannot construct meters. We cannot construct more than this. So see, 9 into 10 to the power of 9. Radius of the earth is 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6. If you construct a sphere more radius than earth, it is not possible, right? That means whatever the statement given, first statement is true. This is nothing but true, right? Let me check it out with the second statements. So second statement, what is second statement? It is possible for the earth, is it is possible for the earth. Statement 2, according to statement 2, it is possible for earth. Is it possible for earth? Let us see. So as see, it is possible for earth. See, one thing is, as 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6 is less than 9 into 10 to the power of 9. Hope this is clear. So it is not possible for earth. Not possible with earth. Fine. So capacitance of earth, if I take, which is less than 1 farad. But according to the statement, it is saying that it is possible. That means it is false. It is nothing but false. Hope this is clear. So let me, so statement 2 is false and statement 1 is true. So what is the option matches with this one? So D is the correct answer. Statement 1 is true and statement 2 is false. So what we used here, so capacitance of capacitance is given as 1 farad. Now capacitance of a spherical capacitor C is equals to 4 pi epsilon naught into R. So we are getting to get 1 microfarad, the radius of that particular sphere should be R into 10 to the power of 9 into 10 to the power of 9 meters. But of course we have radius of the earth is 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6. So we cannot construct a sphere bigger than the radius of the earth. So that's the reason first case it is not possible, that is true, and second case it is possible, which is false. So for capacitance of the earth is less than 1 farad. Already in the classroom session we calculated what is the capacitance of capacitor, what is the capacitance of Earth. If we take r is the radius, if you construct a sphere of same radius of the Earth, then what is the capacity? I think hope we got 0.007 farads. I hope this is clear to all. If you have any doubts, let me know, then I'll proceed. So let me start this question asked in JEE Main 2013, 9th April online exam. So according to this question, a uniform electric field E exists between the plates of a charged condenser. Means it's nothing but parallel plate capacitor. So here a charged condenser, electric field E exists in between them. So a charged particle enters the space between the plates and perpendicular to E. See, a charged particle entering in such a manner that that means it is making an angle 90 degrees, or we can say that it is perpendicular to E. Then the path of particle, right? Now let us see the question, how it looks. Now let me take two plates are there. So according to the question, first two plates, and here second plate, two plates are there. Fine, two plates. One is a positive charge given. Let me take here a positive charge, because to show the electric field direction, I am taking here a positive charge. This is nothing but negative charge. We all know that electric lines of force. What is the direction of electric lines of force? Can anybody tell? So this is the direction of electric lines of force from positive to negative. Goods. Positive to negative. Right? Now, this is connected to a battery of potential. Let me take it is connected to battery of potential V. Okay. Nothing but connected to V, positive and negative. Fine. Now they are separated by distance of D. So let us take distance between the two plates is D. These are two plates. Fine. So inner surface we are taking positive and negative charges. Now a charged particle enters into it. So let me take the direction of electric field. Electric field E. E is the electric field intensity. Now a charged particle is entering here. If a charged particle enters into the electric field, you're saying that a charged particle entering into electric field, right? If it is entering into electric field, let me take here a plus Q is entering. Now can you tell me, it tries to go straight direction, can it go in a straight direction? Yes or no? Can it go? Because the upper plate is positive charges, lower plate is negative charges. It is repelled by positive charge and attracted by negative charge. Can you guess it moves towards positive plate or negative plates? Anybody? Yeah, it will move towards negative plates. Very good. Moving towards negative plates. Hope this is clear. So it is moving towards negative plates. I mean, of course, it is a parabolic path, we can say, right? So here we can say, first thing is acceleration. So whenever a charged particle enters into the electric field, it experiences a force F is equals to EQ. Already we studied from the definition of electric field intensity. Now electric field intensity E equals to F by Q. So force, but here a force we can write what is the acceleration of charged particle due to electric force. That is mass into acceleration is equals to EQ, or acceleration A equals to, I can write EQ divided by M. Hope this is clear. EQ divided by EM, which is nothing but a constant. This is a constant, right? Now we can keep in the box the words. Next, proceeding the next one, a constant acceleration, the particle will follow. So when the acceleration is constant, then the particle follows projectile motion. A is constant. The motion of a charged particle is projectile with effective G effective equals to, we can see EQ by EM. This will becomes now EQ divided by EM. So path is nothing but parabolic trajectory. So in our classroom coaching already we discussed how to show the path of this charged particle is a parabola. With the equation also we proved. Just you can once check it out the notes, so that you will be getting more and more clear here. Hope this will be clear. So now here is saying that path of the a charged particle. Okay, if it is a negative one, means it will go in upward direction, but the path will be same, parabolic only. If it is positive, so it is coming downwards. If I take a negative charge, you can see negative charge, then it will go straight, and it will goes like this. That will be the negative. Fine, a charged particle as it is taken, so that we can take it as positive, or a test charge. Always test charge is a positive charge, right? So test charge is always positive test. Okay, now what we discussed here. So force acting on a charged particle in the electric field, F is equal to EQ, or according to the definition of electric field intensity, E is equals to F by Q. Now we are getting acceleration of that charged particle due to the electric force. A is equal to EQ by M, which is constant. So when the acceleration is constant, then the projectile motion G effective, projectile motion with the effective G, then the path is said to be parabolic trajectory or parabolic path. So option matches with the C. Hope this is clear to all. If you have any doubts, let me know. Hope this is clear. So we'll move to the next question, JEE Main 2014, 9th April online. Just look into this question. So 3 capacitors are there. So now I have 3 capacitors. So 1, 2, and 3 capacitors are there. Let me take 3 capacitors, each of 3 microfarads. 3 microfarad, 3 microfarad, right? These cannot be combined to form the resultant capacitance. That means we can calculate, we can connect these 3 in series or parallel, 2 are in series, 1 is parallel, like that, any combination. Let us see first a combination. First one I'll take it as number 1 combination. So first combination, number 1 C, first one combination. All are connected in a series, 1, 2, 3. All are connected in series. This is 3 microfarads. This is 3 microfarads. This is also 3 microfarads. All are connected in series. We know that 1 by C equals to, let me take it as C1. Let me take, this is C1. 1 by C is equal to 1 by 3, 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3 plus 1 by 3, which is nothing but a 3 by 3. 3 divided by 3, which is equal to 1. So C1 equals to 1 microfarad. That means here first one is correct only, which cannot provide the result, then first can provide. So there is no problem with first one. Now second one I connect, all are in parallel to each other. So 1, 2, and 3. All are connected in parallel to each other. If all are connected parallel to each other, this is 3 microfarads, 3 microfarads, 3 microfarads. All are parallel means C effective equal to, let me take, this is a C2 equals to 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is C2 equals to 9 microfarad. Right? 9 microfarad, 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 microfarad is there. So 9 microfarad is providing here. Can you see? Cannot give the combination. All are in a parallel to a series to, that is, all are parallel to each other. Fine. Now here case 3. Case 3, third one. What I can do? 2 are connected in parallel to each other, and 1 is connected in a series to it. 1 is connected in series. Let me see. So here are 3 microfarads. 3 microfarads, right? Here it is 3 microfarads. Now it is a, hope this is clear. Now 3 and 3 are connected in a parallel to each other, so that it will becomes now 6. This combination will become 6. So now I can write 6. So 6 microfarads and 3 microfarads. So what is the effective? Let me take it as C3. C1 or C2, or 6 into 3. 6 into 3 divided by 6 plus 3. Or C3 equals to 18 divided by 6 plus 3, 9. That means 2. So C3 equals to 2 microfarads. Next, one more combination will go. One more combination. What is the possible combination we have? So 2 capacitors are connected in series, and 1 with it parallel. So 2 are in series. 3 microfarads, 3 microfarads. Both are in a series, and with the combination is parallel to the 3 microfarads. Now we can write it as 3 and 3, the effective of its, if I simplify the circuits or modify the circuits. So here this will be 1 by C plus 1 by C will be getting 1.5 microfarads. So this is 1.5 microfarads divided by 3 microfarads, right? Hopefully you know this one, 3 and 3. That is 1 by C is equal to, or C is equal to C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. So as they are connected in series, so C is equal to C1 C2 by C1 plus C2. So C is equal to C1 C2. That is nothing but a 3 into 3 divided by 6. This is 1's a 2's a, fine. So 2 by, that is 1.5. Hope this is clear. So 1.5 between these two, I want to show, see, between these two, effective is nothing but 1.5. I took 1.5, fine. Now 1.5 and this one, now 4 to 1 effective 3 microfarads plus 1.5 microfarads. So we're getting C4 equals to 4.5 microfarads. Okay, so let us just revise this question or problem answer. Let me take here first 3 capacitors are there, 3 microfarads, 3 microfarads and 3 microfarads. Then first combination all are in series, all are in series. Second combination is all are in parallel. So we got C1 equals to 1 microfarad, C2 equals to 9 microfarad. That means in this one 9 microfarad is not there. Next here 2 are in series, 2 are in parallel, and plus 1 is in series. So we are getting C3 is equals to 2 microfarads. So 2 microfarads is already there, 1 is there. Next 2 are in a series, in this one 2 in a series plus 1 is in a parallel. Hope this is clear. 1 is in parallel. Then what we'll get here? We are getting C4 equal to 4.5 microfarads. So this is also possible. So 6 microfarad, if you take it as 6 microfarad, here we are getting 9 microfarad. If it is a 9 microfarad, there is a possibility, but 6 microfarad, which is not a which will not match us. That means it cannot combine to provide. That means if I take 3 resistors, we cannot make the combination to provide the resultant is almost 6 microfarad. So option is nothing but D. D is the answer. So answer for this particular question is D. So we cannot give output or effective capacitance as 6 microfarad. Okay. So hope this is clear to all on series and parallel. Now next class we'll discuss with the 2016. Okay, till then, bye, see you all of you, bye.